Okay, so let's go through vocabulary MCQ first, and I see that some people have done it online. So let's see what your answers are. It's last says it's 28th. Is it 28th? Let me just double check. PSLE 2023. Your paper 1 and paper 2 first day is 20. Oh, you are right. I missed it by 3 days. So the lie, you're correct. It's 28th September. 28th September is your English language paper 1 and paper 2. And then 29th September, which is a Friday, is your mathematics paper 1 and 2. So very intense. Two of the biggest subjects immediately back to back. Thursday and Friday. Thursday English, Friday maths. So that will be the two major ones you have to pass. And then the following week on Monday, it would be your Chinese, Malay, or Tamil, or Bengali, depending on what your mother tongue is. It will be a mother tongue paper, and then your science paper on Tuesday as well. So it just, it's all comboed together. There isn't even a chance to breathe a bit, give you some days to rest and relax a bit. Yeah, so very intense, constant concentration from you. All right, so good. I am thankful that you are here to learn from Mr. Joel. Welcome, Kian. I saw you online just now. Don't even try to turn off your camera. I saw you. Okay, so the first one, I've had the correct answer from those who answered, which was Chris, Joy, Yu Leong, and Tammy. You all gave me the correct answer. How about those of you who didn't answer online? So Delia, you think that's the answer? Kian, you think that's the answer? Okay, and you would both be correct. So we had to trek 7 kilometers into the jungle to reach our destination. All right, so destination is the correct answer. Destination meaning the place where one is heading to. That's called your destination. Okay. Not because it's in the jungle, Kia. The destination could be anywhere. Okay, so over here, the destination was an open area at the base of the waterfall. So what would people be doing over here? They could be having a picnic at the base of the waterfall, or they could be there to take pictures or meet up with friends or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely a pretty difficult place to reach because they had to walk 7 kilometers into the jungle to reach that. So that's quite some distance. Now, just because we know what the correct answer here is, which is B, that shouldn't stop us from exploring the rest of the vocabulary, right? If not, okay, it's such a waste because there are other quite interesting words that we can have a look at as well. So next would be, let's talk about embarkation. Okay, when you reach a destination, okay, that is where you intend to go, right? You are destined for that place in that sense because you've set off for that place. Now, do all journeys end up with the people reaching their destination? No, right? Sometimes people get lost. Sometimes they might die halfway there. Sometimes they might turn around and go back to where they came from. Many things can happen. So they don't always reach their destination. But the embarkation, all right, embarkation normally refers to the place where one sets out from. Or embarkation could refer to processes one is required to complete before leaving a place. So embarkation could have these meanings, okay? When you look at your passports, and you are required to answer some immigration forms to the country that you're traveling to. Normally, they will ask you, where is your port of embarkation? Okay, when they say port, it doesn't always mean that it's at sea, because most people will think, oh, it's a port, it must be at sea where the ships are. So it doesn't mean that you're taking a ship all the time. You could be taking an aeroplane, or you could be taking a helicopter for all I know. And you would still have to tell the country where you came from. Basically, where did you leave from? That would be your port of embarkation. So take for example, okay, Tammy, I'm assuming that you are Singaporean, right? So if you are Singaporean, but let's say you go to Hong Kong, perhaps, and then from Hong Kong you fly to maybe Japan, and the Japanese authorities want to know where your port of embarkation is, you would have to write Hong Kong, because that was for your flight from Hong Kong to Japan. It was like a separate flight on a different day kind of thing. Okay, so that would be embarkation, where you are leaving from. So you can look at the smaller words inside. Actually, a lot of these words, right, actually have their smaller meanings embedded within them. For A, the smaller meaning is actually the word here, embark. When you embark on something, you set out to do something, right? You're leaving somewhere to do something else. Versus the word destination, right? It comes from the word destiny, which means where you are fated to reach, or where you set out to go. All right. So that's destiny. Once again, over here, right, we also have the word establish, although there's a man behind, right? But it comes from the root word establish. And then the word situation comes from the word situate. Okay. So an establishment is, you can call it, it's a very generic term. You can call it a place where something or some business takes place in. So for example, all right, perhaps Kian, okay, Kian opens a restaurant in the future, all right, and then when he goes for some kind of a government approval, some kind of government license for his restaurant to sell alcohol, right? Kian will refer to his restaurant as the establishment, all right, which is basically that area or the property where the business is conducted in, right? We call it an establishment. All right, versus a situation. A situation may not be a place. All right, over here you actually realize that embarkation can be a place, destination is definitely a place, and establishment is definitely a place as well. But the last one here for D, situation, doesn't mean that it's a place. A situation is actually, I can say a or a combination of conditions or circumstances one may find themselves in. So it could be many factors, right? Many different conditions, many different factors, different circumstances that you find yourself in. You call it a situation. That's why your paper one, first part is called situational writing, because you are in that kind of situation. All right. And then you have to write according to that situation. So, perhaps Yu Leong, you have been asked to report on the car accident that happened outside your school, that kind of thing, right? So what was the situation? So you had to report and say, oh, okay, what I observed that day was that my friend Joel was crossing the road, but he did not look out for cars first. However, he was on the pedestrian crossing, right? And it's definitely the driver's fault for not braking in time, and so the car actually crashed into him. So the situation was at that time, what time it was, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what kind of situation was it? What do you think happened? Who were the people involved? Who was at fault? Was the pedestrian crossing clear enough? Was there blinking lights at the pedestrian crossing? Wasn't there supposed to be a security guard at the crossing helping people to cross the road? What happened to the security guard? Why wasn't he there? And then all these different circumstances and elements that contributed to the situation of the accident happening. You can talk about them. So all those are part of the circumstances of that situation. Okay, maybe Yulong can even note that oh, and then when the driver saw what had happened, right, I could see that her face actually turned a sickly white in color, and she quickly drove off without offering assistance, right, to my poor friend Mr. Joel. And then you can say, that was when I decided to call for an ambulance to help him, because I knew that I didn't know what to do, in those circumstances. So that's a situation. All right. It's not so much a place. It's a combination of elements of circumstances that you can find yourself in life in general. Next, number 2. All right. This one, a lot of you got it wrong online. I'm not sure why as well. Only one person got it right, and that person is Joy. So Chris, Yuliong, and Tammy, you might want to try this one again. A large crowd brave the what in the hope of seeing their favorite star. So this phrase here that you will find, brave the blah, 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 actually means, okay, withstood the weather. So there must have been pretty bad weather here in the first place that you had to brave it, right? So Chris, you are right. Kian, you are right. And Delia, you are right, from your answers so far. How about Yuliong and Tammy? You might want to retry this. Okay, Joseph, you are right as well. Good. Tammy is right as well. How about Yuliong? What do you think? Yuanjia, could you turn on your video, please? Wunshen as well. And Chris too. Start the video later. Are you sure? Maybe after the break, perhaps. Oh, Yuanjia has started hers. All right, excellent. Okay, what do you think the answer is, Yuanjia, for this question here? Vocab MCQ. And Yuliong as well. So Yuliong, just now when you answered online, you answered B, right? But the answer is not B. So if it's not B, what else can it be? All right, good guess, Yuanjia, but not quite. Thank you for replying though. Yuliong, good guess as well, but not quite as well. Okay, so in this case, we say a large crowd braved the elements over here. The elements. So the answer is C. Why is it brave the elements? Why do they call it the elements, right? The elements are the most basic force of Mother Nature. We call them the elements. Basic forces of Mother Nature. When a volcano erupts, right, that's the element of maybe fire and earth, right? When there's a tsunami, it's the element of water and wind working hand in hand in order to create that tsunami, as well as some underground movements, right? And earth movement as well. So in this case, all right, when we say elements over here, we are basically saying braving the weather. So it must have been a pretty bad weather, right? For you to have to brave it. So maybe it was raining heavily. So you have to brave water and you have to brave the wind. And in a sense, you're putting yourself at risk as well if it's a thunderstorm, because you might be braving the lightning as well. you.